Hey guys, it's Marco again, with the Phase 2 SoD guide for rogues. First I need to say a disclaimer, you can play this game however you like it, since the content is still easy and chill. That fact remained the same even in Phase 2. Another easy thing is to press that like button and subscribe to see more content. I already went over the best item list in a previous video. This guide will be focused on talents, runes and rotation. I will start with runes because we don't have almost any options if you want to top the meters. You will always go with Deadly Brew on your chest, Master of Subtlety on boots, Envenom on legs, Shadow Step on waist, and lastly Mutilate on gloves. I don't advise that you go for any other build, since Saber Slash is quite lacking compared to Mutilate, and I don't even want to talk about Backstab build. In this phase, Mutilate is what Saber Slash was in the previous phase. For your own sake you should play Mutilate, otherwise people won't take you seriously, and in my opinion Mutilate is a lot more fun because of the extra common point generation. The only instance when you will swap around your runes is when you're doing content in open world, like farming difficult mobs or elites. In those situations, I'll go with Poison Knife on belt and Between the Eyes on legs, for the ultimate kiting. However, if the mob is immune to CC, I will just put Rolling with the Punches instead of Master of Subtlety. When it comes to Mutilate, there are only two different talent options, and the third one is for soloing content in open world. When I'm soloing things in the world, this is my ideal talent build, and it's made for the purpose of just farming any normal mobs. You can freely change this up if you want more tankiness with parry chance and riposte. However, I'm not a big fan of riposte since we're using fast daggers and I prefer my dual wield specialization for more DPS. Lastly, if you're doing some solo boss farming in the dungeons, I recommend going with Adrenaline Rush, which will help you to take down the bosses super fast. I will remain on these talents if I'm going to go in a super fast log run for the raid. I believe that this build is going to be the best on some Gnomragan bosses, such as Grubis, Vicious Fallout and Mechanical Menagerie. Later down the line, when everyone gets super close to their abyss, I expect this to be the best on Crowd Pummeler, which is already getting pummeled in 55 seconds, and maybe even Electrocutioner 6000, on which the fastest kill as of recording is 1 minute and 9 seconds. The only boss on which this build isn't going to excel is going to be Thermaplug. The other best talent option is the Poison talent option, which scales insanely hard thanks to Deadly Brew rune. This build is going to be the best for majority of the players who aren't doing super fast log runs and for players which are pugging the raid. This build excels in a bit longer fights where the power of Adrenaline Rush as a cooldown falls off. This build is also a flat solo target build, which is the best for pugs, since you'll probably have to take the biggest load of boss damage on yourself. Even in log runs with super fast kills, I expect this build to be the best on the last boss. Overall, I recommend this build for pugs and non-hardcore guilds. It will prove more useful and you'll usually end up doing more damage. When it comes to consumables, you want to take Dragon Breath Chili as your food buff, Elixir of Agility, Scroll of Strength 3, but these are hard to get, and far easier solution is Elixir of Ogre Strength. Gnomragan Radiation Bombs, for engineers and for non-engineers. Gnomragan World buff, Dark Moon Fair 10% damage buff, and lastly Boggling Root for those extra sweaty players. When it comes to open and rotation, we'll start with the combat build. You open up with Mutilate, 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 so 3 Mutilates inside of your Master of Subtlety window. If you're far away from the boss, just use Shadow Step before that. Usually you won't be able to put an Envenom inside of the 10% buff, but that's okay since you don't always get to apply that many deadly poison stacks. Pull your energy for a bit and use Envenom, followed by a quick Mutilate, Mutilate, so they benefit from the Envenom buff. It's important to note that you will only use Envenom as your finisher and you will use it at 5 common points, so you'll always cast 3 Mutilates followed by Envenom. Pull your energy every time before using Envenom, because you won't have enough energy to cast as many Mutilates as you can in the duration of your poison application buff. When it comes to your cooldowns, since the fights are relatively short, you can wait with your cooldowns until they will offer the most damage. For example, you won't use Blade Flurry, Adrenaline Rush on the elemental boss until he's about to spawn mini elementals. Those little things will boost your damage significantly. You want to use your Vanish together with Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry. For example, mobs are about to spawn. You are going to be preferably at 5 common points, you will use your Adrenaline Rush, just be careful so you don't overcap your energy, follow it up with Blade Flurry into Fast Vanish into Envenom. Mutilate, Mutilate, Even though you have Adrenaline Rush on, you will run out of energy soon, so when you're at under 20 energy, quickly use Thistlety, followed by Mutilate, Envenom, Mutilate, etc. Lastly, if you're fighting a boss which doesn't have ads, just use your cooldowns as soon as you can, especially on the last boss, since you'll be able to have at least 2 rounds of Adrenaline Rush. When it comes to the poison build, the whole rotation is just a bit different, and you have less cooldowns, so it's more straightforward. You start the fight with 2 Mutilates, followed by Slice and Dice. After that, your next finisher is going to be 5 common point in Venom, so if you get a common point from your Ruthless talent, great, you'll only have to do Mutilate, Mutilate, pool energy in Venom. But if you start with 0 common points, you're going to do Mutilate, Mutilate, Mutilate into pool energy in Venom. Use Slice and Dice at 4 or 5 common points and make sure that it has close to 100% uptime. When it comes to your Vanish cooldown, I will use it when I have Slice and Dice running, I'm at 5 common points and at about 8ish energy. I will Vanish into Instant in Venom, followed by Mutilate, Mutilate, Thistlety, Mutilate, 5 common point in Venom, Mutilate. Again, you just want to do as much damage as you can in that 10% increased damage window. Overall, I would say that executing the poison build is simpler compared to the combat build. Please make sure to leave a like if the video helped you and consider subscribing for more content. Thank you for watching and bye bye.